Last time on EHoY! Tell me, what is your husband struggling with? As kind-hearted as he can be, he remains stubborn as a mule. He saw me emerge from the prison of pleasure, and now it is he who is stuck in that very prison. The prison, my dear, is the hedonic cycle. How did you move past this hedonic cycle yourself? The act of reading, a good environment, and a benevolent soul. The man tasked me with reading this massive fantasy book. Upon reading the last word, I felt something powerful swell within me. Yet, even this joy began to lose its luster after a few years. I began to realize there is very, very little in this world that contains any meaning whatsoever. I realized I may as well enjoy whatever futile fruits it had in offer. Alas, my witch from above, what do you sense is the key emotion behind this fulfillment my husband so dearly needs? You failed. Why are you still trying? And now continuing. Tua, I would rather you try your best and fail than succeed without trying at all. Was that voice too similar? See, again, there's the instinct to character older, voice deeper, you know? And especially when there's a mother and daughter situation going on. But they're both adults at this point. Well, the voices that I'm doing are supposed to be both adult voices. Like, I don't know. How could I just leave? No. Focus. I will not falter just yet. Think. Perhaps, just like in Jazz's case, the answer lies in the customer. Oh, how could I be so stupid? Of course it's that simple. Maribel? Oui, I am Maribel. Tell me, what was the exact moment you were able to break out of that personal prison of pleasure you'd found yourself stuck within? Tyler, that's a long sentence. Ah, that would be... Oh, yes. It was the day I left the corporate life behind for good. Okay, hit me. I believe this is what I'll need to enchant your piece. So, I want the whole story. Don't spare any details. As you wish, then. But you must know beforehand, in my early years I idolized wealth to the extreme. Perhaps even more than the undercity rodent, I yearned to enter the corporate rat race and climb up the ranks. I was desperate to secure myself a lavish indulgence lifestyle. A huge, sprawling mansion, a luxury car, the most expensive clothes I could get my hands on, and all of that. From my early teens, I had my sights set on a grand ambition. I would become a CEO. A disposable army of workers would be under my influence, and all their efforts would secure my will. As you can tell, I was not the most pleasant child in school. Right. I do not feel any sympathy for the slimy rascal of a child I was. Yet I can see how my mother's narcissism and general negligence affected me. Perhaps if your dinner is often a single meager slice of bread, dreams of power and wealth come naturally. I'm sorry, Mary. Bah! I haven't spoken to the hag in forces knows how long. But you see now why I dreamt of becoming a CEO? Yeah. So I dived into an administrative position at some tech company after university, with eyes greedily fixated on the management positions. I used every clean and dirty trick in the book to work my way up. I went from an intern at the sweet age of 21 to the supervising manager at the salty 24. Unfortunately, each virtue I exhibited in my work, I matched with a vice in my personal life. I spent lavishly, indulged in cigarettes, psychedes, booze. But I have told you of my days of hedonism. So I had to work odd jobs during the weekends and evenings to support this foolish lifestyle. Which eventually led to Mr. Nelson's bookstore and the beginning of my redemption. It had been around a year working weekends at Mr. Nelson's, and many more vying for the next elusive executive position on the road to CEO. Regional manager. And one day in my mid-30s, after we'd completed a large marketing project that I oversaw, my moment came. I was offered the position. Did you enjoy this lifestyle? I don't understand how you could keep at such a pace for so long. Yes, if there was a true enjoyment, I'm finding it a touch difficult to identify in hindsight. But I know that during those early days, when I was swept up in the feverish intensity of youth, my eagerness knew no bounds. As I got further along the rat race, however, it became less and less rewarding. Alas, I did not think much of this. I was too busy sucking up to the higher-ups, a desperate little bootlicker through and through. But this changed when you were offered the regional manager position? My goodness, that snores. Ah, yes. It was my first time meeting the CEO, Diana Prim. And, naively, I was expecting someone happier? More satisfied? Precisely! Instead, there was a quiet sadness to this woman that even my mind-addled husk of a person back then could recognize. It was... She trails off, brows furrowed, trying to recall something. Was she overworked? Stressed? Yes, Twyla. You've reminded me. Diana left several times during the brief meeting to take calls. I could hear her speaking by the door, and I was shocked. She did not speak like the commanding, powerful, metaphorical, mustache-twirling businesswoman I expected. Far from it. Diana sounded completely exhausted and lost. Stars in my eyes, I ignored these concerns. I was ready to take the job no matter the work thrown my way, I said. Fortunately, the CEO did not welcome my haste. He told me repeatedly that this was a big decision, with a lot of responsibilities involved. That I should make sure I truly want this. Responsibility, I thought. But she was adamant I'd take my time deciding. I did not think much of Diana's words, but concern festered in the back of my mind that I tried hard to ignore. Don't be silly. Of course I want this. I've been working towards it for years, I told myself. And naturally, I could not end the night after a promotion without going out for some drinks and getting biblically tarnished. The next morning, I came down with a terrible fever and I could not attend my bookstore shift. I figured it was hangover related, but my doctor told me otherwise. My cortisol levels were high and he suspected the fever was due to constant overworking. As I rested at home, miserable on board, I could do little but reflect on everything going on. Diana Prim's tired face and firm words on responsibility kept returning to my thoughts. Make sure this is what you want, what you truly want. The objective reality of it all came crashing down. I had wanted to be in her shiny little shoes my whole life. I needed the power and wealth and influence and ecstasy that came with exerting such dominance, such stature. But in truth, did I? Sound like Link just opened a chest. Here it is, the turning point. Time to focus. We're getting blurry? We're getting blurry. And even if I did, was this even achievable in reality? Or just a fantasy? And so the seed of doubt was sowed. Doubt! Of course! I realized my previous promotions were not as rewarding as I'd anticipated, and that I needed to endure such a maximal lifestyle. These thoughts were like fertilizer to the seed, and with them, there was no stopping the doubt from germinating. I hang on to every word Maribel speaks, placing myself in her shoes. I needed time to think and recover. I took a couple weeks off. I thought in my work, my leisure time, did I feel any pride or lasting joy? A strong sense of doubt towards her lifestyle, towards her belief of what a personal happiness looks like. These answers were harder to come by than I'd like to admit. There was only one certainty during this phase of fragility: the bookstore. I sorely missed working at the bookstore. So I took another few weeks off and took on more shifts. The days at the bookstore were slow and simple, but I felt full of joy, proud. I could scarcely believe my feelings. Old Geezer Nelson was so glad to have a helping hand around that he offered me a full-time position. Suddenly, I had a choice to make. I was torn. Was leaving behind my wife was leaving behind my life's work truly an option? But I knew the answer when I began losing interest in my indulgences. The bars of the prison of pleasure started becoming visible. And for the first time, I realized just how shallow I was as a person. My dreams and desires severely lacked meaning. They were purely material. At the core of my being, who was I? An extreme, transformational doubt towards her ideals. A skepticism of what she believed constituted herself. A skepticism. Oh, we're going for it! Choose the payoff trace that matches skepticism. Shit. I can... What? Why is it... Why are Fs? Fs are just wrong here. It's just that Reddit user, I hate the letter F. I can feel a few different emotions here. Which one is her skepticism? Okay. Fear, I think, should maybe be the predominant one. Anger? Not so much. You're suspicious. You're not angry. Happiness? Nah, that's immediately rules out that one. All these have pretty similar happiness though, so... Where would anger fall in skepticism? I think anger should be low. So that leads me to one of these two. And... sadness should not be the predominant emotion, I think. Skepticism, in and of itself, in my mind, is not predominantly any of this. So, what's the skepticism that she was feeling? The doubt. Because the doubt comes with sadness. A decent bit of sadness. So it's one of these two, I think. Could be that one. That's a lot of sadness. That's like depression and hopelessness. Skepticism, I think... I'm drawn towards this one. This is it! Skepticism! Fuck yeah! Okay. And now this one, I need to fucking talk about this one because I fucked it up last time. Here's what was confusing about that. Okay, devs, if you're listening. First of all, the sounds. Having the fire just made it sound like I did something wrong when I clicked the correct thing. Because it was just like, barf. And that's one thing. But the main thing was, three of the same color as well was just confusing. Three of the same thing. And then the three, like, sunflower things were like white. More of a white. And then there was the blue and the red / orange of the rain and the fire, which was like, what does that mean? I don't know. I don't think I'm wording this well, but anyway, to transfer this chaos into the spirit of this jewelry, I'll need to match the core emotions of the order in the order the spirit requires. Hit me. Boop 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 boop. We started there or there? Ah, we did it. That's right, you have to click off this one. Alright, sure, let's do that. I don't think I need to save the one. Ooh, purple jam, how pretty. I clutch the ring box tightly and welcome Maribel's skepticism into my spirit and direct it through my fingertips. My fingertips tingle with a frenetic energy, and I exhale. Finally, the skepticism all but fully exits my spirit, leaving a small, visceral imprint on me. That's something that's something to note. It left something in her to build up over time, potentially. Could cause issues. Gradually, I left that hideous hedonic prison, one lanky limb at a time, and faced the noise. After 15 long, tireless years, I strolled into the CEO's office, rejected my promotion, and resigned on the spot. Of course, What a story, Mary. That's just radiant. Thanks to your help, I was able to enchant your ring with skepticism. Skepticism towards one's beliefs of what gives their life joy. Can I just reuse a laugh from before? Stars, aren't you wise beyond your years? That's perfect. Skepticism is exactly it. And can I just say, I scarcely noticed a thing. Which from above, you have blessed us once more. Sorry it took me so long. I'm still new to this, you see. Nonsense, girl. You have clear talent, and not just in your conduit abilities. And that was an experience. Quite therapeutic, even. Forces know I've learned more about myself through this discussion than any book has ever taught me. And I thought I'd blundered terribly. That's some high praise. That's so great to hear, Maribel. But I should head back down to the Undercity. They must hear of your prowess. Let us hope this ring and my husband get along nicely. I hope so too. See you later, Maribel. I'm very curious about how that whole story goes out. I want to hear back from her. As much as I don't want to have to do her voice again. It's finally done. The first day is done. So tired. I close up, even though it should be over in a couple more hours. Whatever. I'm not dealing with another customer. Aww. Finally. It's only for a few hours, but sleep is sleep. I start to feel sick thinking of waking up in 5 hours and doing all this again. No. Stop. Stop, stop, stop. Sleep. No thoughts. Just sleep. Besides, what good is a couple hours extra sleep when I'm just a speck of dust in the endless universe? Right, Maribel? I can't help but giggle at my own joke as I bury my face into my pillow and squirm around like a lunatic. Relatable. As sleep arrives as a warm feeling lingers on the horizon. Maybe, just maybe doing this all again won't be so bad after all. Okay. Oh! How long have we been going for? Everything's recording, an hour 20. That's not as long as the previous one. Still probably gonna have to cut this into 3s. Anyway. Thank you for watching. Let me know. I want to learn more about voices that I do. And just voices in general. So, if you have any thoughts, opinions, feedbacks on my delivery of, like, anything, feel free to let me know. And hopefully I can learn and grow and do better. But, yes, that'll do it for this one. Thank you for watching, and good meet tonight. I'm too tired to say other things. Remember the buttons. Love you all. See you later.